Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about recovering after being laid off or after being fired if you prefer. And that reminds me of a candidate that I had the pleasure to meet some years ago during a recruitment process for one of our clients. And that man was an awesome candidate, I can tell you. But the problem was that he had been laid off some months ago by his employer. And the reasons were that he had lost very important documents under his watch. But the candidate claimed that he was innocent and certainly someone had stolen the paper. But of course, unfortunately, the top management did not agree with that story and decided to fire him. And since then, he'd been looking for new opportunities. And I remember that during the interview, despite his credentials, his experience, his skills, I realized that he had not gotten over the situation. And that affected somehow his performance during the interview. And I can tell you about another candidate, a woman who almost cried out of desperation while I was interviewing her because she had been just fired. And I have dozens of examples of failed interviews because of the same reasons. Well, just make sure I'm not downplaying the consequences of losing one's job and not being able to provide anymore for your family, to take care of yourself. Well, that's a very difficult situation, but not a desperate one. And one of the worst thing about getting laid off is that it can happen to a lot of people at the same time. And you're looking now for a new job at the same time as lots of other people. So if you find yourself in this situation, how can you recover? How can you get over it? What can you do? First of all, do not blame yourself. And you should know that if you have solid skills and experience, there are lots of employers who would be glad to hire you. Secondly, take accountability or responsibility of what happened. Were you fired because of for poor performance or for missed targets? Objectively evaluate what you could have done better. Third, and once it's done, take a break. Just take the time to heal. Go out, do something fun alone with your family. You can travel if you can, just to forget a bit about the situation, get some fresh air. And once you're back, start looking for a new job with this new mindset. 5. Be useful. So during the time that you're looking for a new opportunity, consider volunteering, helping people in your community, be available for others, and so on. And the last point, always stay positive. Well, in conclusion, losing a job is a very painful experience. But as we can say, a door is closed for another big one to be open. So cheer up because you are not alone.